It's expensive, but it will crisp up. So we'll take a look at some of those things. That Mountain Dew you like, or, you know, that energy drink on the 9th hole of the golf course. We'll take a look tomorrow. How many minutes are coming off of your life through these small, little, everyday victories? We will take a look at that. Also, like I said, 10 a.m. this morning, I'll be giving you that information on who's playing the concert for Legends. That will, of course, be at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. August is when we'll do that, but we'll get that information passed out to you 10 a.m. I'll also have a set of those tickets. Aside from that, though, I'm done with this version of this show here on Rock 106.9. We'll not be back live again until tomorrow, so stay safe out there. Be good to one another. Meet me here at 10 to be told who it is and also win a set of tickets for the concert for Legends. Other than that, I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. here on Rock 106.9. Enjoy the rest of your day.
The Stansberry Show.
Weird, lame, gross, dumb, freak, loser, perv, toothy.
On Rock 106.9.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
It's Ryan Seacrest here, looking for ways to feel your best in 2025. I want to share one of my biggest and best tips. When I want to feel my best, I make sure to check my gut health. That's so important. It's why I drink Health Aid Kombucha daily. It's powered with probiotics, which helps me feel less bloated and more refreshed. With so many delicious flavors like pink lady apple, passion fruit tangerine, and ginger lemon. It's such an easy way to support my health. Look for the brown bottle with an anchor on it. Find it now at Whole Foods.
I'm Rodney Williams.
And I'm Travis Holloway. Welcome to the Wealth Break Podcast, a real conversation about finance.
Let's be honest, building wealth doesn't look the same for everyone.
I feel like sometimes being broke is a cycle and that we might have to revisit that.
And we're not stopping at success stories.
What happens when it doesn't go right? How do you cope with it?
Because wealth isn't just about money. It's about creating a life where you thrive and help others do the same.
Listen to the Wealth Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com.
It's Ryan Seacrest here, looking for ways to feel your best in 2025. I want to share one of my biggest and best tips. When I want to feel my best, I make sure to check my gut health. That's so important. It's why I drink Health Aid Kombucha daily. It's powered with probiotics, which helps me feel less bloated and more refreshed. With so many delicious flavors like pink lady apple, passion fruit tangerine, and ginger lemon. It's such an easy way to support my health. Look for the brown bottle with an anchor on it. Find it now at Whole Foods.
For some of us, personal finances aren't just personal. They include a lot more people than ourselves. Loved ones, neighbors, the communities we call home, and the causes we hold in our hearts. At Thrivent, we help plan your financial picture with the bigger picture in mind. Because even though our business is helping guide your finances, our ambition is to make it mean so much more. Thrivent, where money means more. Connect with us at Thrivent.com.
I'm Rodney Break Podcast on the iHeartRadio app.
Friday morning here on the Stansberry Show on Rock 106.9. Online, that at WRQK.com. We have happen to miss yesterday's program, podcast is posted there. Anything this week, month, year, maybe. You can also find it on the free iHeartRadio app as well. Obviously talked a lot of Gene Hackman yesterday, and apparently we're going to have to go back to that well again this morning. I read yesterday. All right, so yesterday I wake up and I get the news, read it off the phone. Gene Hackman has passed away, 95. He, his wife, the family dog, all found dead in the house in Santa Fe. And the line from law enforcement was, they do not suspect foul play. And I thought to myself, wait, what? How? Like, that just doesn't sound right. And then I drive to work and I'm like, oh, gas leak. Like something like that. Just didn't think of it. Like, oh, okay, all right, there we are. Right? And we kind of came in here, we talked about some Hackman movies, we kind of ran through that theory, and everybody's like, dude, that's not suspicious. I was like, well, on the surface it kind of feels like it, but this is, what they're saying, this and that. So then I go home yesterday and kind of get lunch, and kind of, handle the house or whatever, and then, you start preparing for the next day. Sure enough, I'm like, oh, look, we get a Hackman update. Turns out now, well, they were dead a little longer than we had first thought, and now it is now perceived to be a little suspicious from what they say, and at least one article I read last night, and I'm going to double check this before we get here, that they do not suspect a gas leak. And again, I'll double check that before we get to it. About 7 o'clock is the plan on that. But I was like, man, it took just a couple of hours for that to get turned around. And I don't know if I got to stop, maybe just like stop. I got to stop second guessing my gut, because when I woke up and saw it yesterday, I was like, this doesn't feel right. Like I said, I drove to work. I was like, all right, a gas leak. I guess I didn't think of that. Maybe something like that happens, right? Yeah, all right, yeah, stuff like that happens. But now they're saying, no, I got to go back and take a look at this again. Apparently, her body, the wife's body, was described as mummified. And law enforcement now believes they had been deceased a lot longer than what we were under the impression of yesterday. We'll take a look at these updates, Gene Hackman. Do that 7 o'clock this morning. Also yesterday, God, it's almost like we're doing Thursday over again. But we talked a little Elon Musk. Said, hell, I'll go on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart, but I want it to be aired live. I don't want any edits here. And I said, all right, I understand why he thinks that's better for him, and I do think it's better for him. I still don't think this is a great idea, and I think Jon Stewart agrees with me, and that's why he has come right back out and said, oh, we're happy to do it. We are happy to do it. Come on in. And I'm telling you, I'm not sure this is going to go all that well for Elon Musk. But we'll take a look at it. Do that again at 9 a.m. this morning. Oh, yesterday. We talked about it a little bit? Yeah, the Epstein files. And then we got a bunch of influencers standing on the lawn yesterday holding binders with a bunch of black lines crossed out through any of the information you might want to read about there. I feel like yesterday was a terrible day for the administration. Terrible. Some of their biggest supporters leading into the election about-faced and started to turn on him yesterday. This is not going like at all. Nobody's happy with what they're seeing. Republicans, Democrats, us, nobody is happy. And I got to be honest with you, the one thing I thought he might get right and seamless, that way everybody pays attention to it and not maybe everything else that's going on. I was like, dude, they're not gonna fumble this, are they? Yeah, this is a complete and utter boondoggle now. There was absolutely nothing. They come out and say, well, most of this has already been out. There is no, well, wait a minute. What we think we see here now is FBI agents were withholding information, and now, so we got to track that down. We'll see. We'll see. This kind of feels now like what we were saying all along, which is like, just wait, and before long it never comes. And would you look at that? And now everybody gets to scream at everybody. Right? See, we told. But then that side's still standing on the other side of the street going, whoa. Went out of your way, did everything you could, tried to put his ass in jail. If you had it and you knew you had it, why didn't you put it up? And so now that's all we have. Hey, would you look at that? Miraculously. We just have a culture war. Well, this isn't really a culture war. But we just have this distraction. There it is. Now going on. That everybody's going to scream about. And gee, I wonder what might happen while we're all doing that, right? probably should keep our eyes, low peripheral vision, gotta maybe make sure we're keeping our eye on every last thing there. But we'll take a look at the Epstein files that were not. We'll do that coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. Also, guys, if you're sitting around with a micro penis, you might be in luck, man, because ladies, they just got their champion of the micro penis. Let's take a look here next on Rock 106.
The Stansberry Show.
He's insane. Sleep with him.
On Rock 106.9.
Well, big nothing burger yesterday. We'll take a look at that, 8 a.m. this morning. About what we expected, right? Got influencers waving binders around on the front lawn. Ugh. Rough scene yesterday, man. Not good. Not good. We'll get there, 8 a.m. Oh, by the way, did you see Miles came out and was like, yeah, Stansbury's right. I don't know what everybody's talking about. There's no negotiating here. I'm done. I'm out. We're good. We're moving forward there. We'll get into Miles' comments today, too. All right. Weekend. It's when a lot of people try to head out. Maybe you meet somebody. Maybe you meet somebody else. Apparently, the cheating thing running rampant out there. It was 3 different friends this last week who reached out to me for a little bit of like, what do you think I should do about this situation? In all of those situations, one was suspecting somebody had been cheating. The other 2 actually caught the people and were like, well, now what do I do? And I was like, well, you know, that's about what you want to do. Like, you know, do you feel as if you had this? I find most people who don't meet people or are having trouble with that are not necessarily the most active people I meet, and I don't mean at the gym. I mean going anywhere. You know what I mean? They're a little bit more couch potato-ish. And then you throw in, we can all be a little self-conscious about something about us. Before getting some dental procedures done, a cracked tooth always kind of made me feel like, maybe it's a weight issue. A lot of times, guys, you know what they worry about? Size of the penis. You know why? Because, well, a lot of pressure is put on them. And they didn't pick it, right? And you're allowed to body shame it. You're allowed to body shame it. You know, you go, don't worry, it's not what we're going to talk about. Actually, quite the opposite. What we're going to talk about is Penny Talbot. Penis size. Penis. But Penny's 33. She's been with Jake now 2 years. And she's not disappointed at all. Anybody wondering, what is a micropenis? Like, what is considered to be a micropenis? So we looked that up real quick. And that is, it's significantly smaller, they say, than the average. Typically defined as a stretched penile length, SPL, they actually have that here, as 3.67 inches or less. That's for an adult male, whatever those are. Meaning if a man's penis measures less than 3.67 inches when fully erect, it's considered to be a micropenis. Another question that was asked here before I got to the Google machine is 5 inches a micropenis? And this gave us this, from the Cleveland Clinic. The average stretched penile length, SPL, for an adult male is 5.25 inches. Okay, so that's what a micropenis is, about 3.6, and an average is about 5.2. So settle it down out there, ladies. Dial down the judgment, right? Otherwise, we're going to start measuring waists. Kidding, see? Kidding, relax. But here's the thing. Penny, actually perfectly fine with her boyfriend's micropenis. She actually called it, I've heard this word in my bed before too, and I got to be honest with you, I did not like it. She called it perfect. That's a bad word. Perfect's a bad word. Let's be honest. Perfect's a word we're using trying to avoid some other words. And it's like, that sounds good. Perfect sounds good. And I remember telling her, I'm smart. Like, did you get this by the other 2 dopes before me? I know, probably, right? Because they're gin soaked. I'm smart. I know what this means. I didn't like that one. I didn't like that. But Penny says perfect. Yeah, perfect. They met through some mutual friends and apparently had been made aware that and they throw this in here, a British Army veteran, had a smaller penis before they even started going out. She went out with him anyway. she had heard about it. Like, it had kind of been like, they have some mutual friends. And it's kind of one of those things that's talked about, I'm sure. And when they started dating, he brought it up right away. Wasn't embarrassed about it, kind of owned it. And she went on to say that he was even maybe proud of it. Well, bringing it up at 33, you've probably dealt with it more than enough, or maybe you haven't because you've been so nervous about it. But at some point, just rip the Band-Aid off, I would imagine. There's no change. I mean, as of right now, male-dominated world, by the way, as of right now, I mean, you can do anything to fix a female's body. Maybe that is because the world is male-dominated. Maybe that is why. But like this, you would think we would have like the better version of this, right? We don't quite yet. But at this point, you're better off just like ripping the Band-Aid off and getting it out of the way. Versus, I would imagine, right? I think that would be, I don't know, I guess, and I guess I should be thanking God I don't necessarily need to know. But for me, I think it would be way less embarrassing at the table over the appetizers than when we're back at your apartment. That would be, I could handle the look of disappointment on your face at the table. I could handle all right, just giggle. I could handle all of that. I could be fine with all of that. There's no turning back. Like, you can't unsee it. Like, guys know. Most guys know. You slept with a couple of different women. But you didn't get a hold of all of them, right? There's one out there where you're like, I just don't know, I'm actually pretty good at this. And I see, like, more than one. And here's the thing. Well, how's sex? I mean, tell me, it's so important. Sex and communication. Okay. She said, yes, he's below average. But for me, she says it's never about the man's size. There are a lot of other ways to spice up your sex life for you and you both to be left satisfied in the bedroom. Yeah, see, here's the thing. I haven't heard this guy talk about a lot, about this. She's at the newspaper kind of talking about it. Here he is. The photos are out here now. And again, much like a guy's probably not going to want to hear the word perfect, I don't know if he's going to want to hear, you're great at other stuff. Or like, this is, like, now, if you're married in a serious relationship, are you going to have these conversations in order to get your sex life on track? Yeah. And are you going to have to maybe hear, it's like, yeah, man, you weren't great at that last night. Yeah. Like, it's going to... I probably dated... Now, what most men want to know, and I guess some women, out, why aren't you at the jewelry store buying that ring, man? That's like, man, men really... Jon Stewart says, oh yeah, Cleveland Browns. Yesterday, we had out all that one. I mean, I didn't expect the grades to be great. As a matter of fact, what I harped on mostly the program, I said, oh, you know what this is, I bet guys were looking around the locker room going, the grade's not all that great yesterday. And then yesterday, we got out of here for the day, and sure enough, the star player in question, Myles Garrett, comes out. Well, he didn't really come out, but the report comes out that he's not open to a negotiation here. And I've been saying this. This is all felt from the beginning a little out of character for Myles Garrett. The only thing, this is what's crazy, the only thing there's two, and they're mistakes, that Myles has made that makes you think like he's the kind of guy who's going to get out there vocal about trying to get out. It's the two biggest mistakes he's made in his career, right? It's the Mason Rudolph helmet swing and the flipping the car over after practice, which most people don't even remember happened. You take those two things out of there, none of this feels like the Myles Garrett we have known. My point is like when somebody breaks character, something happened that forced that character switch. Now, maybe he's just been doing a great job of keeping it bottled in, of who he really, maybe. But I also think it's just a guy who knows. I'm on a clock here. I'm not getting younger. I'm only 29 yet, but like, come on. I'm a 6-time Pro Bowler though. And like, what am I doing sitting around here? So the report comes out yesterday that he has slammed, the representatives have, slammed the door shut on negotiations with his reps at the Combine. And the reports are now coming out. Now, Andrew Berry said this the last week. He does not intend to trade him. That is what they're going to say up until draft night. That is what they're going to say. Wednesday this week, head coach Kevin Stefanski said, yeah, he's part of our present. We plan on him being part of the future. Now, the fan thinks they're holding the cards. They can trade him. You're right. They can also not trade him. You're right. Now, he can sit, he won't. I don't believe you might be right. I think it's not necessarily going... You think the league is rigged, right? At least a lot of you. This is where you're going. This is where it might be. The league. Myles Garrett to stay in an orange helmet and be wasted, or to go to another team and win. Right. So the league's going to want him out. Right? Right. So there's that. Now, we told you when you signed Deshaun, you have made enemies with some NFL owners out there. Sure enough, this last year, we saw more and more of those stories start to leak out. Turns out it's a little bit right. Yeah, other teams were on that run. Other owners are going to want to see him go too. They're going to help you be done with it. Okay. I'm not sure this team can afford to look spiteful. Right. If that's the route you go, you bet. And I mean, you better knock every draft pick out of the park over the next 5 years. Otherwise, you're never signing another decent player ever again. If you mean kid, magnifying glass in the anthill Myles Garrett, I'm telling you, I think it might backfire around the league. Not with fans. Fans are going to hear the numbers and go, oh my God, baby, you can't go make tackles for that. I work for this. And look, by the way, for their life and for what it is they're saying, they're going to be a little bit right about that. Get paid in this, right? I'm telling you, I think everybody in the situation, not named Andrew Berry, Jimmy Haslam, Kevin Stefanski, and Cleveland Browns fans want this guy out of this team. And if that's the case, it's probably what's going to happen. Look how bold they're still being. He knows he can be traded. And look how bold he is still being. Look at what the quotes are. Now, it is a negotiation. Nothing happens until somebody says no. I learned that one the hard way once. Radio manager